In mid-April, while Fort Macon was still under siege, Burnside moved to prevent what he saw as an emerging threat to Union control of North Carolina's coast. The clash between the Confederate ironclad Virginia and the Union's Monitor in March had demonstrated the power of such warships and made it clear that wooden ships were obsolete. When Burnside learned that Confederates were building ironclads in Norfolk, he moved to destroy the locks at the Dismal Swamp Canal to prevent warship access to Albemarle Sound.
So he orders Jesse L. Reno to take 2 regiments from the New Bern garrison, the 51st Pennsylvania and the 21st Massachusetts, and Rush Hawkins's 4th Brigade, the 6th New Hampshire, 9th New York, and 89th New York, to advance from Roanoke Island to take the locks, or at least blow up the locks, of the canal.
About 3,000 Federals under Reno disembarked from their transports near Elizabeth City on April 18th. Early the next morning, they began to advance. After a tough march that found part of the force under Rush Hawkins mistakenly taking the wrong road, the Northerners encountered some 900 Confederates, led by Colonel Ambrose R. Wright, at the crossroads about 3 miles below South Mills.
They get to what is now South Mills, North Carolina, and they see Confederates arrayed across their front. A bunch of militia from several North Carolina regiments, an artillery battery under McComas, and the 3rd Georgia, considered as close to a regular regiment as the Confederates have in this area from Norfolk. They're arrayed in an entrenched position across an open field and have already set fire to one of the trenches in front of them to slow up any potential Union assaults. Like Roanoke Island, immediately Reno starts to look for a flank by going to the right, through some woods. But again, swampy ground slows him up. And as they're pushing their way through, Hawkins decides that he'll attract attention, maybe even force the position by a direct assault. He brings the 9th New York, the Hawkins Wasps, in their red fezzes and blue uniforms, backed up by the 89th New York to a charge. They cross the roasted ditch, assault the Confederates, but are swept away by the combined fire of artillery and infantry. The 9th New York and 89th New York swing to the right, while the 21st Massachusetts attempts to flank again. They still bog down, and the battle ends with the unlikely unit, the 6th New Hampshire, going to the left.
After several hours of fighting and an effective flanking volley by the 6th New Hampshire, the Confederates pulled back behind Joy's Creek. Hearing a rumor that Confederate reinforcements were arriving from Norfolk, Reno abandoned the operation without destroying the locks. Union casualties were estimated at 114 men, and Confederates lost about 25, including their artillery commander, Captain W. W. McComas. The fight at South Mills was the first setback for Union forces during Burnside's campaign.